This is how you do a problem where a equals 1, but the b value is even. So I subtracted the 5 on this side, and subtracted it on this side. I did x squared minus 8x plus 16. I got the 16 because I took the b value and divided it by 2 and then squared it and got 16. We gotta add 16 and then on this side and add 16 on this side. And then you find the roots, which is just this number, before you square it. And then you gotta square it again to get rid of the parentheses, and then square this number. So now the parentheses is gone, but this stays because it's not a perfect square. So you gotta subtract or add 4 and add 4 on this side. So then your final answer is x equals 4 plus or minus radical 11. And this is how you do a problem that a equals 1, but the b value is odd. So there's your original problem, x plus 7x, or my bad. You do minus 15 first on this side, then you minus 15 on this side, then x plus 7x plus 49 over 4. I have 49 over 4, which is 7 divided by 2, but you're going to get a decimal, so you leave it as 7 over 2, and you square that. And then you add 49 over 4 on this side and 49 over 4 on this side. And then you got to add these together, which you can just turn this into a fraction by times it by 4, which is the denominator, which will get negative 60 over 4 plus 49. Then you'll get negative 11 over 4. And then the same thing, x plus 7x squared. To get rid of the parentheses, you gotta put a radical over it, but there's a negative in here, so you gotta bring the negative out, which makes it I. So then you get this, and for your final answer, the I has to go in the back, and this has to be subtracted to this side. So it'll be x equals negative 7 divided by 2 plus or minus square root of 11 over 2 I. This is how you do a problem where a doesn't equal 1, b and c are divisible by a. So first you have to factor out your greatest common factor, which is 2. So you divide this whole line by 2. Then you get x squared plus 9x plus 2. And then you just gotta do the same thing, minus 2 this side, minus 2 this side. So it goes x squared plus 9x. But then you get 9 over 2. You divide 9 over 2, but you can't. It's not really an even number, so you square that, which you get 81 over 4 plus 81 over 4 plus 81 over 4. And then I added this here because this number is this in fraction form. So then you get that. And then you should put a radical over 73 over 4. And then you get to get rid of the parentheses, do this, add the radical. So x plus 9 over 2 equals plus or minus radical 73 over 2, because this is a perfect square, so it becomes 2. And then there's two ways for this problem, because x equals negative 9 plus radical 73 over 2, or negative 9 minus 73 over 2. This is how you do it if a doesn't equal 1, but b isn't divisible, but c is. So then you just gotta factor out your greatest common factor, which is 2. But 2 doesn't really go into 5 evenly, so you do x squared plus 5x squared minus 5. Then your minus your 5 over minus your 5 over, so it becomes x squared plus 5 5 halves x plus 25 over 16, because you get this number, times it by half, and it becomes 5 over 4, and then you square that. And then you gotta add it on this side, and I just did the same thing. I timed 16 by 5, and I got 80, so it'd be 25 over, or it'd be negative 80 over 16 plus 25 over 16. Then you gotta square this side, square this side, add a radical. From this, I got 105 over 16. So now the parentheses are gone. And this, but you get a perfect square from this. Oh, I messed up on this one. This should be 4. And for your last problem, for complex solutions, I used the quadratic formula. Got x squared plus 4x plus 5. And then basically I just added these numbers in, because this is the a value, b value, c value. I just added them into this. So it would be negative 4 plus or minus radical 16 minus 4 times 1 times 5 over 2 times 1. And then I put the multiplied them, so it would be negative 4 plus or minus radical 16 minus 20 over 2. And then it would become negative 4 plus or minus radical negative 4 over 2. But you can't have a radical inside, or you can't have a negative inside the radical. So then it becomes negative 4 plus 2i over 2. Then you can simplify that to negative 2 plus or minus I. That's it.